The Gospel according to John, chapter 20. Passage 2. Jesus appears to Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene stood crying outside the tomb. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb and saw two angels in white, seated where Jesus' body had been, one at the head and the other at the feet. They asked her, "Woman, why are you crying?" "They have taken my Lord away," she said, "and I don't know where they have put him." At this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there, but she did not realize that it was Jesus. He asked her, "Woman, why are you crying? Who is it you are looking for?" Thinking he was the gardener, she said, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have put him, and I will get him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." She turned toward him and cried out in Aramaic, "Rabboni," which means, "Teacher." Jesus said, "Do not hold on to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. Go instead to my brothers and tell them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went to the disciples with the news, "I have seen the Lord." And she told them that he had said these things to her. Let us look at this from the perspective of faith. Mary Magdalene's encounter with the risen Jesus is one of the most moving moments in the Gospel. Mary, filled with pain and sorrow, stands by the empty tomb and weeps. She still does not understand that Jesus is alive. She thinks someone has taken his body. Even seeing the angels, she does not yet see this as a sign of hope. When she turns and sees Jesus, she does not recognize him. We can imagine how deeply her heart was engulfed in grief, how much her mind could not accept the possibility that he might truly be alive. Jesus asks her, "Who are you looking for?" This question is also directed at us. Who are we looking for in our lives? Are our hearts open to meeting the living Jesus? Only when Jesus calls her by name, Mary, does she recognize her Master. That one word, full of love and familiar closeness, opens her eyes. Jesus knows each of us by name, calls us personally, and when we hear his voice, our souls begin to recognize the truth. Mary wants to hold on to Jesus, but he says, "Do not hold on to me." This is a reminder that his mission is not yet finished. He must ascend to the Father but sends Mary to announce his resurrection to the disciples. Mary Magdalene becomes the first witness to the resurrection, the first person to declare that Jesus is alive. This encounter shows that Jesus comes to each of us on our personal journey. We may be lost, full of sorrow, incapable of seeing his presence, but he is near and calls us by name. Can we recognize his voice in our lives? Do we have the courage, like Mary, to share this joy with others? Jesus is alive and waiting for us to see him with our hearts, not just our eyes. I'm glad I could be with you. Talk soon. Your friend.